castle short, and now I'm thinking of a clear kingside attack. Thanks very much. Firstly, I need to restrict black's bishop, because my pawns on the light squares really takes away the jobs from the bishop. After that, I can do whatever I want. So I'm advancing, and this is really a nice position to have now. Rook to d7 actually gives me time for a winning move, which I missed. I mean, there are no apologies, of course, but playing in a club, at club level, where no one really takes this game as serious as me, in my opinion, people don't respect everything which has to do with the culture of chess. So actually, most of the players already finished their games. I guess until this position, 3 hours are over since the first move, and it became really loud. I saw knight to f4, but I couldn't calculate all the consequences, and couldn't see a clear way. And before I did any mistake, I took on g7 and kept it simple. Well, knight to f4 is way stronger, and I think you can see that this looseness of this pawn structure is very important, and if the light squared bishop is gone, or if you take it and the queen has to leave the protection of the king, this is dangerous. And as well, the knight can attack the king here. I thought g6 here saves black, but look at this. And the computer suggests even rook takes bishop here. Well, let's take it back and see why. As I said, this diagonal is loose. Let's say queen d6 takes, and now you see that white is winning this game. I mean, if it doesn't take this off, then it's all clearly over here. So it was way too loud for me to calculate in this position. I just opened the position, which is the principle of chess, and it is correct as well. Not as strong, especially not if you don't see a very clear-cut way to proceed. I played my knight to g3. To fix this pawn on a dark square where I can attack it with. And maybe black is obliged to even black is even maybe obliged to take off this knight, and by doing so I fix this pawn on f6 forever with my pawn on f5. This was the plan, and now having his king on g6, I change my plan and I try to fork both of them. He plays his rook here, objectively losing. I played the correct first moves in the following continuation, but there was more to it than I found. Sometimes you see a combination and you think the continuation you see is the product of it, and the most strong and the only product, but there are sometimes even stronger possibilities. I take here, this is the tactical blow of this position, and the king cannot take this bishop because there's a check, discover check, and king has to take, and now this rook falls, and black is clear material down. So black retreats with his rook, which is attacked. The bishop is immune, and now e5 would be the move. And if bishop g4, rook c6, rook d6, and I mean, this is clearly losing. I, in this position, took the bishop, king takes, and I attack the black rook and force it to exchange it off. After the knight comes back into the game, or seems to, I infiltrate. King e5 is not wise because it's losing simply. The rook is falling, so the king has to go backwards, and now check again. This is the best and only line that gives white an advantage here. And now the rook has to go in between. Takes, and now you just see this is a one endgame. You have at least two pawn islands per player. Okay, I have this extra central pawn, but in these positions, this piece is winning you the game. It's not even this pawn. It's this piece, because it can play on both sides of the board, and the knight really needs too much time to jump from one corner to the other. And I want to give you this example how to win these games. I mean, we often hear and know that these kind of positions are won, but how to do it? Well, I mean, black doesn't want to go e5 with his knight. Maybe he's afraid of my king infiltration and attacking it twice. And I mean, in this position you can even take this off and push your pawn, and you decoy the king from the center, and I mean, this is clearly won. The actual game, it followed knight e7, and I enter with my king, and I enter furthermore to get this h7 pawn, and after that it's very easy for me to promote one of my pawns. Black hurries back and defends this pawn. I attack the knight to win some tempos, to reposition my bishop to this effective diagonal. You see, bishops dominate knights in very often cases. This is a typical motif. You restrict and dominate the knight, and after it tries to reposition via h8 to f7, I march down with my pawns, kick the knight, and now establish with a check a nice control of the squares here. If king g8, well, this is clearly winning. And if, as in the game, king e8, I win this pawn, there's no stopping. And I think black tries here to give his knight for my pawn, and see how my pawn is marching down the board, and black cannot stop it. I mean, if black tries something like this to stop the pawn, you take, and again black cannot stop the promotion of the g-pawn. So he tried to maneuver again, but you know, even if you land your check and my king goes to the side, maybe here. Okay, this was not accurate, sorry. Of course, you have to keep track of the f6 square. Now I was too fast. 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay. And now there's no way to stop white. Okay, this was my second From's Gambit game. Actually, club players tend to play this, but let's go all back to the beginning. They are absolutely not prepared of white declining this, and you see how here black gives up his bishop pair, and after my tactical shot at the end, right here, I managed, after pressurizing my opponent, to making him go into making him blunder. I managed to win the game. And you pressurize your opponent by playing openings he is not well prepared for and doesn't feel comfortable in. So that's why I don't play the standard openings. I play openings which are which have to be respected, and which are a little bit exotic, and that gives you most of the times an advantage, as you see in this game that came to fruition. Thanks a lot. I hope you might share your thoughts with me, and I'll keep track of doing more videos soon.